Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 26th, and this is Before the First Cup with Lady Pitbull and Zorie on UCY.TV. Good morning, lady.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I got my computer back. I haven't got it set up, but I finally got it back.
Hooray!
So I am happy. I hope if it works.
Well, I'm about to get new headset myself because this one's being kept together with duct tape.
I have one of those too, and it's my favorite. And I always have one backup. These things don't last very long, especially when you use them as much as we do.
Oh man, let me tell you. I mean, it broke in half like twice. So
when you get up and you walk away and you forget to take it off, has a lot to do with that.
Oh right. Well, actually, it's how I took it off, because it broke like just above the earpieces, and it's like, ugh. It makes me mad.
I know. I loved my cordless one. I mean, it was fantastic, but for that amount of money and only last 6 months, nah.
It is.
But man, I don't know how many times that you get up and your neck stays here, and you're almost falling on your back because you're being connected. But yeah.
I like these because it's got like the urban camo pattern on there. I really like
you can make that pattern yourself, lady, with some leaves and some spray paint.
Leaves and spray paint. It's true. God, I'm wearing an urban camo shirt right now.
How cold is it there? It's 38 here.
Oh, it's 31 here.
Wow, you're cold.
But, I'll tell you right now, apparently there's going to be rain, snow, and wind from D.C. to Boston.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it's supposed to get like, some parts of New York, I guess, are getting up to another foot, which is on the other side of New York, apparently. And the city is supposed to get up to like 8 to 10 inches, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
So nobody died in that storm, right? The one that had everybody packed in. Did you hear of any?
Oh yeah, there was like 13 deaths. I think they're still counting.
Oh, wow, really? Where they couldn't get out of the house?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Or either that or they were shoveling and had a heart attack.
Man.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, and they knew it was coming. You would think that, they'd be better prepared.
Well, hopefully they'll get prepared now. I don't know if it's all if there's snow still left. I'm sure there is. I mean, it takes a while for it to be in the 60s for it to melt, but now it's back in the 30s, so everything's going to have a giant sheet of ice on it, that's for sure.
If it melts, remember the snow not melting or melting like plastic with,
oh, yeah.
last year?
I don't know. I did that, and I don't know. There was some kind of explanation as to why that, some kind of scientific explanation, which I'm not prepared to.
No, Dane covered that a little bit in the meeting that we had last Friday. He hit on the subject. I have to go back and re-listen to it, but and I have the videos are up on my YouTube page, and it was a really good meeting.
Oh, good.
And then on December 5th, we're all going to converge in front of the radio station, the TV station and the newspaper, because of the way that they're blocking us, not telling them where our meetings are and stuff. So we're going to force them.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, got to figure it out somehow. Because it's got to stop now.
Oh, it does. And at the meeting, man, when I heard one of our board of supervisors was going to be at this meeting, clear and present danger, I got my paperwork, and I was all ready to call him out, and he went and came out and told everything, and I just went, well, wow, there goes my bubble. I didn't get to yell at him or nothing. So, wow. Yeah, it's amazing how many people are coming together here. It's just, I love it. I love it. People finally, doing something.
Yes.
And yeah, we're getting in dire straits too with these. And he explained exactly how they're taking our water and how he explains everything so well. It's easy to understand what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a trip. Reading seems to be the main concentration for activists. One guy came all the way down from Alaska, just to be at the meeting. So
good.
Gotta pass it on and make more people understand. And there's a young college student there. She's starting a group at her college in Chico to make students aware of it. Because, this is really dire. Every breath you take is putting poison into your body. Now, it's just not supposed to be that way.
No, and they're doing it to everyone around the whole world. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It just as people are getting, figuring out Monsanto, people need to figure this out too, because this is almost worse than Monsanto.
And Monsanto bought that climate change company. That climate, what's the name of it? Darn, I wrote it down too. And I didn't realize that either, but he did. He bought this, it's the climate Corporation or something like that. But anyway, he's involved in that now too.
Of course.
He's just evil throughout, And with this, I haven't been able to find any more on this spraying, of California crops, all of them, putting pesticides on everything, doing away with organic food completely. I haven't been able to find anything else on it or how it's progressing or anything.
Yeah,
but as goes California, goes the rest of the country, and this is really important if you ever want to have any real food that isn't, poison to your body and your babies, all the food you're feeding your baby, you can't even grow it. These are important issues. We're always worried about what's going on over in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's important, but what about these things that are killing us right here?
I got it. It's I don't know. I think it's all kind of like a giant spider's web, and everything is connected to everything else.
That's true. Yeah.
When you mess with one of the parts, the whole thing gets messed up.
Right, and you find the same people involved in all of it. Why can't we choose them?
It's the same exact perpetrators. It's the same perps. And how come we just can't do citizens arrests? Damn it! But you're never gonna get judges and prosecutors to even go that route because they're all part of the same damn group.
That's true.
And it's just they're all like freaking Freemasons, and they're all watching each other's buddies' backs, and it just pisses me off how it all works. Makes me mad.
Yeah, did you see military veterans send urgent letter to National Guard in Ferguson telling them to stand down? And it was an open letter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it says, it's from Anti-Media. Hundreds of active duty U.S. military and veterans have sent an open letter to Missouri National Guard members urging them to join Ferguson's protesters, not fight against them. The letter, signed by many veterans, including dozens who fought in the Iraq War, was published on marchforward.org and can be viewed below. And it's a long letter. I'm going to put the link into chat. But after the show, it's interesting, to go in and read it. They bring out a lot of good points. And so, and you know what, that's something strange too. They had, the National Guard there, a week or so in advance, and yet they didn't deploy them until after the major damage had been done.
Well, yeah, that's what they always do. They always do this crap. They always wait until, they tell the cops to literally stand down, take cover, while, the city freaking burns, and then the people, it's typical Hegelianism.
Right, and
You know?
like the fires, they didn't let the firemen go in, so it
No.
made better pictures for
Sure.
the news.
That's right.
Yeah,
And then the governor came out yesterday and said, "We will not tolerate that tonight, and we will put the clampdown on tonight." I mean, I was like, okay, you see this? You know, I mean, it's starting now, and they're going to just mow everybody over, and they won't give a crap what your name is. You know?
Yeah, and like if you notice the first night, how many cops did you see out there? None. They didn't go out. They weren't employed either during the burning and the, all the. It was orchestrated from the get. I tell you.
Yeah, this whole thing reads like a damn script. But there were cops out there the first night. I mean, obviously I saw pictures. So, I mean,
but not like. Well, they had plenty of time to be prepared. They would have had extra cops, and you would have thought they would have been there before it happened, like right before they announced it. But you didn't see that, and then holding back the fire departments to where businesses burn all the way to the ground. It's just, I don't know. It's so orchestrated.
It is. Here's something very, very strange. Nice and short. To the point, it says 2 FBI agents were shot in North St. Louis County. Apparently, this was last night. 2 FBI agents were shot this morning. Oh, I guess it was this morning.
Wow.
In North St. Louis County while responding to a man barricaded in a home. Rebecca Wu, the spokeswoman with the FBI St. Louis Division, says the agents were assisting, listen to this, the University City Police Department execute a warrant at 2:53 a.m. on the 1800 block of North Hanley Road near Monroe Avenue. Now, what the hell is the FBI assisting a university police department in executing a warrant?
I didn't know that the university police department did warrants.
Yeah.
I thought they were.
What the hell is going on around here?
Does it say what it was for?
One agent was shot in the shoulder and the other agent was shot in the leg. Wu says neither injury is life-threatening. A St. Louis County police spokeswoman tells KMOX News the 2 agents were taken to the hospital. Wu says the shooting, which took place about 5 miles south of Ferguson, was not directly related to protests. And that is all it says about it. I just am questioning what the hell FBI agents are assisting with a warrant execution.
And especially with campus police. They're just supposed to patrol, aren't they? I mean, a warrant shows investigation and...
Right.
And
it says University City Police Department. That's what it says. So I don't know if it's the city, if it has something to do with the university. I have no idea what
they don't say what the warrant was for or and why they were going early in the morning.
No, I just read the whole thing. But that's just interesting that the feds are there helping local law enforcement, even if it is the Rent-A-Cop University. I mean, what the hell are they doing this for? Why are they there to assist? Are they like bored, sitting around twiddling their thumbs over there in Ferguson? I mean, come on. It just, that shit just pisses me off. That, I don't know what it is. It's just...
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're so integrated.
Yeah.
All of them.
Since 9/11, ooh, they all have to be. But then they don't, I mean, it's just... Yeah,
are we safer now? Yeah, right,
And then like during the Boston bombings, oh no, we couldn't have none of the agencies were communicating that well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when it serves them, they don't communicate really good, and when it doesn't serve them, they do communicate just great. You know what I mean? So I can't stand this crap anymore. It's just got way too much.
Yep, and then those officers that killed that 12-year-old, now evidence has come out he never got the gun out and pointed it at anybody.
See, now where in the hell is freaking FBI Sharpton?
Yeah, he's right out there in front taking photos in front of one of the burning buildings.
No
You
one's,
know,
they in Detroit, they're protesting here now, and they shut down. They're walking. They're literally, these protesters are idiots, dude. I mean, I'm not trying to be
yeah,
disrespectful.
stopping the traffic.
They're they're walking in the middle of the freaking highway. I mean,
in LA too.
What's that gonna do? That's not gonna do anything. And if you guys are so upset about something, get upset about that poor kid in Cleveland that just got shot.
Oh, they were protesters were out for that too. And I mean, statistics. I've been doing that civil forfeiture thing, collecting all that information, and the statistics on what's going on. How are they keeping people thinking? I mean, it's the news media is so involved in this because statistically, violence is down in America, way down. I mean, all the way back to like the early 1900s. We're down to that rate of violence. But the police violence is escalating at an outrageous speed. But why? Why are they doing that when there's not that much violence out there? And why can't we get it out there that there really isn't hardly any, unless it's to fill the prison industry, because that's where they make lots of money.
It is. I think you just hit it on the head right there.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at this too. Rates of incarceration per 100,000 of the population. Okay, as of 2010, our prison industry, our prisons have grown in population over 700%, while all other countries has gone down, 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 down.
Including China.
China is, Cuba and Russia are before China. And then it goes to Poland, Turkey, Spain, United Kingdom, Italy, France, Germany, and Sweden. But us, it's all the way up the chart. 700%, 50% of which are non-violent prisoners. So, and it's going to continue because these companies, McDonald's, Walmart, AT&T, Chevron, and IBM, are just the names of a few companies that support the prison industry because they're making uniforms for the military while, paying 50 cents an hour. It's crazy. They're going to, they need more and more prisoners. And when you look, the most disturbing part about that is every company makes a projection for the following year. Theirs is always higher. And what does that mean? That means they have to have more prisoners in order to fulfill that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people, they're getting our kids, because the ripe age for the prison industry is 18 to 35. That's what they look for most.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's either that, get them in prison with the thug culture and whatnot.
And minimums.
Huh?
The sentencing, mandatory minimums. 20 years, no matter what the circumstances. You have to give out that sentence. And, I mean, 50% of Americans who never hurt nobody, are in prison, behind bars in this country. And they say this is the country of the free. No way.
Yeah, I don't know. This is what they do. It's either prison or they send them overseas to fight.
They're raking in this year over $900 million, and that's Unicor alone. That's a federally run slave market. Then you have all the private slave markets. The statistics I'm telling you is just just Unicor. And that's only one of many, and it's not even the biggest anymore. So just wrap your head around that. How many? 2.4 million Americans.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. And you know what? Your kids are going to be the next line to go in because, as prisoners get older, they die off or they have to have a constant replenishment. And the more laws they make, more ridiculous laws, and these cops going bananas, You know, to where they get more prisoners even if you're not doing nothing, because they always say you fought back, so you broke the law, so you're going to prison.
Yeah, that's right. That's how it works. That's exactly how it works.
Yeah, it's appalling. It's so sickening. I mean, China, you know, the communist countries, the ones that are supposed to be so bad, we outdo them all across the board.
I know. That's what really gets to me, like, the most, I think, because, I mean, that's like a
Democracy.
total communist regime here, and we claim to be like some kind of a democracy. I mean,
I know.
something doesn't fit here. It's not even really a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. However,
right.
it resembles nothing of the sort, and they just want us to get used to being institutionalized and being in a police state. And this is what they're doing. This is how they get the young people used to it.
Oh, right. Every day in school, you're taught. You know, you have to obey. You have to obey. You know, and then they make it like, you know, we've got this mindset that whenever anything happens, it had to have been the citizens' fault. The police only are out there to protect us, and people, no matter how much evidence you give them of the contrary, they haven't seen it for themselves. They've just, you know, and most of it doesn't hit mainstream unless it's something big like this. They don't realize that even in their communities, this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's
Absolutely.
always, yep. And the fact that you can go back through, and I've been going back now for 3 days in this forfeiture thing, and along the way, I'm picking up a lot of statistics about other things, and even in my city, small town here. One of my friends was over saying, yeah, there's been 4 people killed by cops here in the last 2 months. And I didn't know that. I'm so busy with other stuff out there, I'm not watching the local. But, you know, it is happening in your neighborhood, and it is going to affect you eventually, people. It's just, I don't know, how can we be... Are we really that blind to it, or do we just not want to do anything about it?
Yeah. Good question.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just think that everybody is just the complacency is just absolutely mind blowing.
Well, they've been brainwashed so well. You know, if you repeat a lie long enough, it becomes true. And then when all the news you get is from the TV, and they're all, you know, pushing it, you know, even though that you know in your heart that these cops are all, you know, the mentality of the cops, and that like that one video that I seen where they shot that one lady protester. She was a lawyer, and then they were all laughing about it afterwards. That's what's going on. Cops are just laughing at all of us at what fools we are.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow, the clouds are kind of clearing here. It's the first time in almost a week.
Ooh, get ready for it to get really cold then.
Yeah. I don't mind that, but clouds are like a bummer here.
Oh, look. Oh, I was looking at this one thing in Ferguson. 10 coincidences that show that it was orchestrated.
Oh, hey, read that.
Yeah. Okay, here it goes. Number 1. Federal, state, and local law enforcement authorities had more than 3 months to prepare for the violence that would follow the announcement on the grand jury decision. Mainstream media endlessly hyped this controversy, and everyone knew that trouble would be brewing. But despite an enormous amount of time to prepare, very little was actually done to prevent any violence from happening. Number 2, someone made the decision to make the public announcement about the grand jury decision in the evening. Anyone involved in law enforcement knows that crowd control is far more difficult after dark. This also ensured that instead of being tied up with work or school, a maximum amount of protesters would be able to be involved in the violence. 3, fortunately for the mainstream media, the announcement of the grand jury decision was perfectly timed to provide the largest possible number of primetime viewers for the big news networks. 4. Just like back in August, no law enforcement authorities of any kind responded while dozens of businesses were vandalized, looted, and set afire. 5. According to Ferguson's mayor, James Knowles, National Guard troops were purposely held back from intervening in the rioting that was unleashed when the grand jury decision was made known to the public. And here's something that he said in a press conference. In a press conference, he called the delay deeply concerning and said the Guard troops were available but were not deployed when the city officials asked. The troops had been readied last week by Governor Jay Nixon as the grand jury announcement neared, but as gunshots rang out in the night and looters searching buildings, they were nowhere to be seen. 6. It is being reported that the heavily armed National Guard troops were limited to keeping the peace at the courthouse, patrolling the outskirts of town, and preventing disturbances in other suburbs, as horrific violence raged in the heart of Ferguson on Monday night. 7. Missouri Lieutenant Governor Pete Kinder has accused Missouri's Governor Jay Nixon of holding back the National Guard troops because of pressure from Obama administration. On Monday night, he angrily made the following statement to Fox News. Is the reason that the National Guard was not in there because the Obama administration and criminal Eric Holder Justice Department leaned on them to keep them out? I cannot imagine any other reason why the governor who mobilized the National Guard would not have them in there to stop this. 8. The Washington Post has documented that the Attorney General criminal Eric Holder had been in direct contact with Governor Nixon and had expressed frustration with the fact that the National Guard had been activated. A top aide to Holder called the governor's office earlier this week to express Holder's displeasure and frustration, according to a Justice Department official. Instead of de-escalating the situation, the governor escalated it, said the official, who spoke on the condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to speak on the subject. He sent the wrong message. The tone of the press conference was counterproductive. 9. Firefighters in Ferguson did not immediately respond to calls to put out the multiple fires that were set by protesters. As a result, many businesses burnt to the ground, but this did make for amazing television footage. 10. In the worst of the war zones, journalists with cameras and microphones were crawling all over the place while there were hardly any police to be seen at all. How is it possible that law enforcement could have failed so badly? Could it be possible that this was orchestrated on purpose? Yeah. So that was the coincidence. Yeah, when you have that long to prepare, and you heard about it every night on the news, what they were doing in preparation, to de-escalate and to avert all the violence. And where were they on the night that it was done? They were nowhere. So I'm saying, they built it up, made sure that, the anxiety was building on people. And another thing, made the announcement when most people would be out of work and they were able to go there.
Right. And they've had a chance to get a few drinks in them, It's like, oh, okay, it's party time now, And all it takes is like one little incident. And hey, you got maybe an agent provocateur in there, like lighting off one car, and then that's it.
Yeah, I don't even think they need many. I don't even think they needed many of them because people were just so built up with the anger, And the fact, what gets me is the fact that the grand jury. I don't know. Did they even get the other coroner's report? Where they, the conflicts in there, because there was enough evidence to put a doubt. I mean, how can they clear this guy 100%? It's
Right.
what I say. You know,
Yeah, I
eh,
don't know. They should have picked a better.
and you know what? I seen, and it said this as of Tuesday night. They're gonna keep him on the force. I guess he didn't resign.
Well, here's the thing: the feds are going to come down with their little investigation, which it's going on at a federal level, like we were saying yesterday. They'll probably come
Yeah,
back with some kind of federal civil thing that happens on this guy because he violated the civil rights, and then it's gonna just perpetuate. It's gonna keep all this tension, this racial tension in this country, just going and going and going. That's what that's gonna do. And
yeah, and I mean, why would he want to even be there? I mean, he's gonna die if he stays there on the force. But the thing is, why all of a sudden now they're gonna keep him on the force? I thought he was resigning. I think he's a fool to even want to work there because somebody's gonna kill the man.
no, let's not hope for that. I
Well, I'm
mean,
not hoping. I'm saying that is, look at how
it's a
angry people are.
possibility. I mean, I don't know. This stuff is just so freaking scripted, like you just read. It's obvious. It's obvious to us, and I don't understand why it's not so damn obvious to the rest of the world.
Because all they watch is the evening news.
Yeah, it drives me nuts, man.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I mean, they're protesting, on command, hey, and then they build this crap up, and then all this stuff happens. Well, basically, what happened like last night? I mean, there's a bunch of I guess Ferguson protesters overturned barricades and swarmed the courthouse.
Uh-huh.
And let's see. I guess
And there's nobody in there at night. So
well, here's one. They throw urine-filled bottles at police. Wow. 45 arrested as Ferguson police protesters throw rocks and bottles and urine at police. I mean, okay, in prison, guys throw urine around. I mean, what the hell's going on? Are these people like animals or what? I mean, are they... That's the thing too. That's the thing too. When all of these images and all these stories come out, right? They are designed in such a manner as to
make the protesters look bad.
That's right. They want to make, they want all the whites that are looking at this stuff on the TV to go, wow, those blacks are like animals. You know what I mean? And this is what they do. And people are just, it's a psychological operation. And then when the protesters do this kind of crap,
what they're pumped up to do.
Right, absolutely. What their leaders are instructing them to do, like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson.
Protest leaders that are going into the area that aren't even from the area.
And do you think Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson are out there on the front freaking lines? Hell no! They're like 10, 20 miles away from the scene in some posh-ass hotel.
Well, when, not Sharpton, but Jackson, when he showed up, and Ferguson, the first day, the protesters, they were telling them to leave. You're only here for the news show. You're not here to help us. You don't really care what happens to us. They were all mocking him, and
they were parading him around on TV yesterday. Boy, let me tell you, it was nothing but Al Sharpton up there.
Yeah. And the people that they don't even see that they're being manipulated, but they live with this stuff every day. You have to admit. But then if we could only make them understand that these protest leaders that are coming in, telling them how to act, are not doing it for their benefit.
Yes.
It's just so, I don't know.
Well, there's a picture here of It says St. Louis County Police Department reports 45 people were arrested on Tuesday night. St. Louis County Police tweeted the urine-filled bottles that were thrown at police. Holy crap. That's just really, really messed up. Let me post that in chat so everybody can look at the pee-filled bottles. Yay!
You know what? When all's said and done, it'll be just like Watts in L.A. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Except they'll have more prisoners in prison to work in their labor camps.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, how yeah, that's what's going on here, Zorie. Absolutely. They're getting us conditioned to be put into FEMA camps. Absolutely.
Well, prisons could be considered FEMA camps. They're taking innocent people that never hurt nobody and making them work for them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I found this thing here. Police department wants to abandon body cams plan because of citizens' requests for videos. The Seattle Police Department recently said they will probably abandon their plan to put body cams on officers due to a citizen's request for video from the body cams. Now, tell me that's not blatant right out there saying, no, we don't want you to see what we're doing. What would be wrong with us seeing what they're doing? And like Jules says, put it, up so people can watch it on their computers. That's what they're afraid of. It says, however, they do not lack the resources to ride around horses at Westlake for no particular reason or send officers to Capitol Hill to do surveillance on coffee shops that denied service to the police. The Seattle Police Department was set to test out 2 kinds of body cams in just several weeks on only about a dozen officers. Now, apparently, the plan is set to be shelved because, as local news report alleges, this week an anonymous citizen filed a public disclosure request for a daily list of all the recordings made by the dash body cameras, every 911 call officers respond to, and the list goes on. Police officials worry that fulfilling that request and any other that follow could overwhelm staffers who also need to provide that information to prosecutors and courts and have other important duties. Oh, so now in order to inform the public, it would be too much of a strain on their staffers is why they want to do this? Because the people want to know. It's that the department might be able to charge a fee for such a broad request until they can find a solution or the public record laws are changed in Olympia. The body cam program will likely be shelved. Now, like what Jules said, it wouldn't cost anything to have it live streamed up there. They're acting like, because people want to know this, why couldn't they just put it out there as it comes in? I mean, this is such a play onwards, and then they'll say, well, the taxpayers will be paying for it. That's the next thing, I think.
Well,
anyway,
just like we said yesterday, they've got all kinds of civil asset forfeiture funds coming in. Why don't they use that?
Use that.
Bastards.
$4.3 billion. I think that would be enough to,
happen to
buy
some
a couple
of
of staffers.
Lucrative. Come on.
It goes on. There is not the hugest problem of police corruption or violence in the city, however. Therefore, there are not many passionate citizens devastated and outraged at police killings pushing for this plan, as opposed to a lot of other cities in America. Oh, boy. At the same time, Seattle has a heavy presence of activists and people who would be quick to hold the police accountable. Oh, boy. So it comes as no surprise that someone already requested camera data. That has not even been recorded yet. Seattle's police department is relatively peaceful in comparison to other American police departments. But some people would say almost all police departments in America are inherently corrupt for enforcing federal laws that are immoral. So will anyone stand up to make sure Seattle police follow through and equip officers with the body cams? Or is it not the highest priority to police, activists, and Seattle residents alike? Now, get this. Those aren't cheap. And obviously, they've already bought them. So what a waste of money, of taxpayer money, to just go put them on the shelf. And right there, you know, they don't want their police to be watched. And if they were so innocent and if they had such little corruption, I would think they would be proud to wear those cams to show the world that they are not the corruption that people
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we know that's not the case.
Right. And then it goes on. Though, if the police were to shoot and kill an innocent person in Seattle, surely activists would hold down the streets and make everyone aware of what happened. Maybe Seattle's police are relatively peaceful because they know they would be held accountable if they shot an innocent person. Oh, make me gag. I guess we'll see if Seattle activists want these body cams enough to put the pressure on the department. That's the end of the article. Yeah, if they kill an innocent person, well then, you know, it'll be the activist's job. It won't, you know, it won't be their fault they killed an innocent person. This is just downright stupidity. And if those people up in Seattle fall for this, then they deserve what they get.
Yeah,
you know, where are
kind
you
of
know?
agree
Get out
with
there
that
and say,
in a way.
you already spent our money on these cameras. Now, what? You're afraid to be held accountable? You're afraid that the citizens might see what you're doing? That's what they're saying. It's they try. Doublespeak is so integrated in our society now.
I know, it's really like it's if you don't understand how to decipher what these talking heads on the TV are really saying, you're gonna fall for all of it. And it's our job to kind of expose this and try and teach people how to read between the lines and see through that doublespeak.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they bought the cameras, and what they're really saying, well, we can't use it because we don't have the money. The staffers are overwhelmed because they're giving this information to prosecutors. Well, you know, they can put all kinds of other information out there.
Well, not only that, and they would say the same thing about getting liability insurance for their police officers. Well, we just don't have the money for it. Yet they've got money through the civil asset forfeitures, like we were saying, to go buy, you know, all kinds of SWAT team stuff for their SWAT teams, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know. What the hell are we supposed to be doing about this crap? And we just keep gonna ask that. Well, what am I supposed to do about it? And on the way to the FEMA camps, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, Ferguson is just a little glimpse as to what to come.
Well, right, and you know, protesting like this is not going to solve a damn thing.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything.
Well, right, and especially the kinds of protests that's going on there, you know.
Well, sure.
I don't know. It's how to find that one thing that will make it go viral, to make it go into people's heads, to, you know, to get past that wall that's been built by the media,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I don't know what the magic thing is.
I mean, death of a 12-year-old doesn't seem to do it. You know, being poisoned every day, every breath you take doesn't seem to do it. It's just
no, it really doesn't. I mean, people still go out and buy their damn Roundup and Monsanto products. I mean, I don't know. People still eat the McDonald's garbage.
Yeah.
People,
you know,
I don't know, man. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I know people that, you know, give their kids diet soda, even though they know that it's so incredibly terrible.
Cleans rust off of chrome. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, and they're giving this to their little babies, and it's just I mean, you pull your hair out, but what the hell in the end can you really do? I mean, I guess maybe like some giant bomb going off in some major city somewhere will get everybody's attention. Come on, why does it have to go that far?
But then they would blame the bomb on domestic terrorists.
Right.
It had to be the activists, and so they still wouldn't wake up. They would even be more against waking up. You know, they've painted they've done such a great job of, as soon as one of us starts talking, in the back of those people's head, they're remembering what the TV told them and going, well, this is one of them coops.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it's just the talking points, and once that little seed is planted, I mean, people just believe it so fervently, and they're there's no...
And the reason the reason they do believe it, because the cops are always found to be in the right. If the truth came out about that, I think they would be more apt to wake up. But every time, what does the police chief say when someone gets killed by a cop? They follow procedures, they did nothing wrong. A person is laying dead on the street. It could be your wife, your child, your mother, your father, but how are you going to feel when they say, well, they follow procedure? What is with their procedure? Something needs to be changed about their procedure then, maybe, huh?
Yeah, I would say so. Because none of these protests are doing a damn bit of good. None of them. Shutting down a major highway isn't proving your point.
But
people are creating...
desperate.
Well, they're only creating, for innocent people to get hurt. That's what
if they would have. Yeah, if they wouldn't have blocked traffic, if they wouldn't have looted and burning, they would have made such a strong statement. People would have paid attention then. Now they just go, well, it's just, it's been so long, and the blacks are, just destroying their own stuff, which is true, they did. But, the statistics holds up that more blacks, they're not the largest part of the citizenship in this country, but yet most of them are in prison. And I don't even know if it's just the black issue. I think it's poverty. Poverty breeds, violence. You're poor, you can't pay your mortgage, you have all this stuff right up to your chin, and all it takes is very little to set you off. And
that's got to look at the reasons what causes the poverty. Open borders is one giant reason. Taking all of our manufacturing base and putting it overseas into China and Guatemala, Mexico.
Money over there.
Yeah, that's another reason. So that's not the... And filling up prisons, that's another reason, but that's not the fault of black people. I mean, it's and then the Federal Reserve printing money out of thin air. I think that's the major cause of poverty everywhere in the world.
And it doesn't take long after you've lost your job, you can't find another job, that your self-esteem starts going away, and the further down you go, the more you have no respect for yourself, no respect for anyone else, when you get to that level, and it's hard to come back up.
Yeah, especially when you start drinking and, that's all that you live for anymore, and, you just want to die. And I know so many people like that have that mindset. They don't care if they live or die. They don't give a rat's ass what the hell happens around them. All they want is their next drink. All they want is their next shot of heroin. It's ridiculous, and it's just so many people are in that situation. Yeah,
self-respect is very vital to a successful person, or in any situation. If you don't have you lose your dignity when you have to feed your family. You can't find work nowhere, and you got to make you can't sit there and watch them starve. So, you're going to go out, you're going to steal, you're going to beg for money, you're going to do anything to feed that child.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to stop looking at the people begging for money. They aren't all bums and lazy and, I mean, there are so many families out there living in their cars that were maybe last month living in a nice home. It happens that fast.
Well, and now there's a bunch more, like, people, like, living in cars and stuff that came up from the border. I mean, if you, like, travel the highways, I mean, they're in all the freaking rest stops and all the major, like
Walmart, you always see people in their cars sleeping out there because they allow it. But, and then...
They allow it in Walmart?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I did not.
The guy who started Walmart, his son was killed, and he was begging for a place to sleep, and no one would give him a place, a safe area to sleep. They kept kicking out, and somehow he got killed or something. And ever since then, in Walmart, in the back parking lot of Walmart, people are allowed to sleep in their cars there without any problems.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, homeless are allowed to sleep at Walmart, and they have to be gone in the morning, but they are allowed to safely sleep in Walmart parking lots. I didn't know that either until about a year ago, and then I've noticed that. I've driven by quite a few times, and you'll see all the cars parked out in the back, and people sleeping in their cars. But, and now I lost what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, but, it's not just the bums anymore. And people go, well, they could do something else if they wanted to. What? When there's no jobs, no handyman jobs, even because people can't afford to pay a handyman.
Right.
And all we have here in this town is food service. And they're all taken by the young kids. If you're older, they don't want you. If you're 40 or over, good luck. They want nothing but young people in the job force. At paying, what, $7-8 an hour, you think you're doing real good. But I don't know. I know so many people that they devastated, and it mostly hit the people who had just refinanced their homes. Like this one lady, she had finally had enough money in her income tax return, so she refinanced her home to put a new roof. She lost her home because of that balloon payment, and she's out in the street right now.
Unbelievable.
That house had been in their family for like 4 generations.
Wow.
Gone. And you drive around, and there are empty houses all over. But, we can't let the homeless stay in those houses. We'll just let them sit there and rot. And they're still doing that to people. It's not in the news. It's not real big in the news now, but they're still kicking people out of their home on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't...
Crazy. It's absolutely...
Yeah, and meanwhile, we're spending billions and billions and billions of dollars. We're sending more troops over to Afghanistan. In fact, we sent more troops into Ferguson than we did over there.
Right.
Did you see that? Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah, we sent there was 2,000 guards sent into at Ferguson, and they only sent 1,700 to Afghanistan because I guess this is a bigger war zone than over there.
Wow.
And what are we doing going back into Afghanistan? I didn't read all of it, but I just seen that we just sent troops back into Afghanistan.
Right. Well, it's because of the freaking poppy fields over there. It's being
that's right.
It's a boon for them. They can't pull out of Afghanistan. They wouldn't be able to pull out of Afghanistan even if they wanted to at this point. They're making so much bank off the heroin over there. Holy
How silly of me to forget about the drug trade.
Yeah, I mean, geez, who's the top of the heap on that one is the Bush family.
Uh-huh.
Good
I bet they are.
I mean, that's how they've met. They've made their empire for 100 years
Well,
almost.
look at Clinton with Mina, that all that, and you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it's amazing how many people don't know about Mina. I mean, it was so brought out. Like I tell you the other night, my friend, she didn't know anything about the Clintons, and I watched that. And by the time she left my house, her head was just spinning.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's how it happens.
I mean, because I watch documentaries. All even if I'm busy doing something else, I usually have a documentary on, and you know, and then since I do that, and it's my way of gaining knowledge. I'm shocked that other people don't know that. You know, it's kind of weird that I think it's weird that they don't know, but then really, in reality, most people aren't looking for those kind of documentaries.
Right. Oh, no. People don't know those kind of documentaries even exist.
Yeah, I just sent out eight DVDs to this one person that I met over the weekend that was a street performer and was waking up. So I just spent $7 shipping them a whole stack of DVDs.
Wow.
They want about everything. I just said, okay, here you go, dude. There
you go, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And whenever I can afford it, I make as many as I can. I go around, I just hand them out to people in front of Walmart or one of the stores here. You know, if they watch it, yay. If they don't, well, it'll sit around till one day somebody will pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's I like the real powerful ones about like Gary Null. Have you ever watched his videos about vaccines? This man, he's on fire. When he went in front of the committee in Washington, D.C., it's my favorite video. I mein, he has statistics. People's jaws were dropping when he was in there testifying. I give that out all the time. He just shows the stupidity behind the vaccines and the horribleness of it, and and then what is the other one? The psychotropic drugs.
Oh yeah.
Now, that's a good one. You know, they're easy to watch. I try and pick those out instead of the ones that are just repeating statistics and stuff, but that make it easy to watch and make you go wow, and you keep
Yeah, your interest is piqued, and
right.
Especially if you don't really know what's going on out there, then yeah, that's
all
a
it
good
takes
thing.
is one DVD to pique someone's interest, and then they'll look at something else, or they'll listen next time somebody says something.
Yeah, can I backpedal a little bit here?
Sure.
I mean, you brought up like Afghanistan and going to war and stuff. This really, really caught my attention. It says, Rand Paul demands Obama go to war with ISIS. And this is like...
That's kind of weird.
Let me read this. It says, likely 2016 GOP presidential candidate Senator Rand Paul today released his draft of a declaration of war resolution against ISIS, expanding his foreign policy efforts. Quote, when Congress comes back into session in December, I will introduce a resolution to declare war against ISIS. I believe the president must come to Congress to begin a war, and that Congress has a duty to act. Right now, this war is illegal until Congress acts pursuant to the Constitution and authorizes it, Paul said. Now, I agree with that whole statement right there. Can't go to war unless Congress authorizes it. That is absolutely a true statement. However, the rest of this stuff is hinky, and I don't like it. The release came as news leaked that President Obama was firing Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel in part for a weak effort against ISIS. Text of the resolution. Okay, so this is the actual resolution that Rand Paul is going to introduce to.
But hold on, one thing. Rand Paul's in Washington. He knows that we created ISIS and
That's
all
right.
this. Why is he doing that? He's saying
don't know.
what we're doing over there is okay, but we just got to make it legal.
Right, exactly. And where in the hell is your head, dude? I just don't freaking get it. So let me
Let's
read
hear the resolution.
Yeah, here's the text of the resolution. It says, whereas Article 1, Section 8 of the United States Constitution provides, quote, the Congress shall have the power to declare war. And then it says, whereas President George Washington, who presided over the Constitutional Convention, lectured, and this is what George Washington said, the Constitution vests the power of declaring war with Congress. Therefore, no offensive expedition of importance can be undertaken until after they've deliberated upon the subject and authorized such a measure. Now, that's perfectly fine. I get it. It says, whereas James Madison, founder of the Constitution, elaborated in a letter to Thomas Jefferson, quote, the Constitution supposes what the history of all governments demonstrates, that the executive is the branch of power most interested in war and most prone to it. It has accordingly, with studied care, vested the question of war in the legislature. Whereas James Madison wrote in his letters of Heldivius, in this case, the Constitution has decided what shall not be deemed an executive authority, although it may not have clearly decided in every case what shall be so deemed. The declaring of war is expressly made a legislative function. Whereas an organization referring to itself as the Islamic State has declared war on the United States and its allies, and whereas the Islamic State presents a clear and present danger to the United States diplomatic facilities in the region, including our embassy in Baghdad, Iraq, and whereas the Islamic State presents a clear and present danger to the United States diplomatic facilities in the region, including our embassy in Iraq, Baghdad, and consulate in Erbil, Iraq. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled. Section 1, short title. This joint resolution may be cited as, quote, declaration of war against the organization known as the Islamic State. Section 2, declaration of
Okay, one interruption here. If they don't want us in their country, why don't we bring our diplomats home?
Yeah, that might be a better solution, actually. Well, because we've created a giant cathedral type base there in Baghdad. You know what I mean? They gotta protect our interests now.
But if we didn't want some ambassador over here, we would kick them out, no problem. And if the whole thing sits around, they don't want us there. Well, why don't we just get the hell out, and then we would resolve that problem altogether.
I agree with you, completely and wholeheartedly. All right, so Section 2. Declaration of a state of war between the people and the government of the United States against the organization known as the Islamic State. A. Declaration. The state of war between the United States and the organization referring to itself as the Islamic State, also known as the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant ISIL, by the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, which has been thrust upon the United States, is hereby formally declared pursuant to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of the United States Constitution. B. Authorization. the president is hereby authorized and directed to use the armed forces of the United States to protect the people and facilities of the United States in Iraq and Syria against the threats posed thereto by the organization referring to itself as the Islamic State, also known as the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL, and the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS. C. Rules of construction. 1. Scope of authority. Nothing in this section shall be construed as declaring war or authorizing force against any organization, A, other than the organization referring to itself as the Islamic State. Okay, I'm not going to read that whole thing. B, based on affiliation with the organization referring itself to as the Islamic State. 2, limitation of the use of ground combat forces. Nothing in this section shall be construed as authorizing the use of ground forces except A, as necessary for the protection of rescue of members of the United States Armed Forces or United States citizens from imminent danger posed by the organization referring to itself as Islamic State. Now, had this been in place during Benghazi, they would have had to have gone in there and provided cover for that. But
they didn't.
But they didn't. So,
and you know, okay, think about it in reality terms. Okay, ISIS is a direct threat to us, and yet they have not done anything that the FBI or CIA haven't set up. They haven't bombed us. They haven't. I don't know of any troops. Any ISIS troops in this country on the ground with guns going after us to kill us. It's all over there because they want us out. And besides the fact that we trained them and supplied them with all their weapons, you know, I mean, the whole thing, it's us. And why people, you know, they got us hating these people over there that, you know, all we hear about is what they tell us, and when you hear the soldiers come back, a lot of them say they're just like us. We're fighting people that are just trying to live their lives.
Yeah, there's like 6 sections here. I don't think I need to keep reading it, but
well, what it's saying is, you know, and Rand Paul irritates the hell out of me anymore because what he's really saying is, what we're doing over there is perfectly fine. We just gotta put the little stamp of okay.
Yeah, the little stamp of approval. I mean, right now he's right. It's not constitutional, but I mean, he knows damn well where these ISIS originated. You know what I mean? He knows exactly, and you know, It bothers me because wasn't he taught better by like Ron Paul? I mean, his dad is such a non-interventionalist that like it boggles my mind why he wants to declare war on, you know, a few like beheadings here.
I think he is more dangerous than the ones that just come out and show their evilness. Because people relate him to Ron Paul, and they shouldn't, because they need to watch what this man's doing. He is just as bad as Obama, just like with the NDAA. He put up this big fight, like I said, you know, the filibuster, and did all this, and then he went and turned around and voted for it.
Right.
Excuse me, but you are a hypocrite, and people should not follow this man. People should just treat him like they do Obama, because I don't see any difference.
Yeah, well, I can't really argue with that, to tell you the truth. Now that I've read this, I understand the dude's point that right now we're, you know, it's
how many other countries have we
committing troops, but without congressional authorization. I get that. I mean, I get it, and I agree with that. But to actually declare war on just this shadowy, like, group that's running around just
Yeah, we should just
over.
call it what it is. We aren't. I mean, we've been in perpetual war ever since World War II. Really, if you really go into it.
Yeah.
But the word war has just been so. What we do is we go and we invade countries, sovereign countries. And now I heard somewhere a rumor about maybe going after Cuba now. And that's another thing. Why do we own that little area? Why are we in Cuba when we are against Cuba? We have all these sanctions against Cuba, but yet we're right over there in the middle of their country. How did that happen?
What, Guantanamo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I'm not sure.
And yet we aren't to do any business with them or do anything. Did we buy that piece of land or something? I don't know about.
Apparently so.
And we put our
it's an island, so
we have our troops over there in a country that hates us because of all the stuff that we do against them, and yet. Why would we do that? It's just so many things baffle my mind. I'm a common sense person, and it just, I guess that's why I've been in this movement for so long. Things don't add up to me, and it just gets me all perplexed.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's
we're against war, but yet we are protecting the drug war. We're against it. We want all drugs gone, and yet we're over there protecting the fields that produce the cocaine that is our problem here, and our heroin over here.
And it's the same corporations that are protecting and cultivating these poppy fields are the same damn corporations that own the prisons over here. So
trafficking in cocaine. McDonald, I mean, he got reelected, and right after they find out, the day after they find out that his wife and he's all intermixed with that 90 pounds of cocaine.
Yeah, Bitch McConnell, you mean?
Yeah.
Bitch McConnell.
Yeah, and then what they do, they made him the head of something.
He's the Republican Speaker of the freaking House? No.
Right.
I mean, what? And his freaking wife some Chi-Com? I mean, screw that.
It's crazy.
Bitch McConnell. I hate that guy.
Yep. And you know, that even went out on the news, in the media, the public media about it, and they still reelected him. I don't get it.
I know. And John Boehner's going to be up there. You know, they're not going to switch the guard here. They're just not. They've got too much invested in this shit right now. They're not going to do any of that.
John McCain announced it. I mean,
I hate
nationwide that he is in intimate friends with ISIS and all them. And yet we still go, oh, well, John McCain's a good guy.
So we got McStain, Songbird McStain, got Bitch McConnell, and we've got John Boehner. I mean, God, what the hell kind of gaggle of freaks is up there in charge? Gonna be in charge on, the 1st of January. I mean, what the hell? It's the same old. It's not the Democrats haven't gone anywhere. They're still up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. Nothing's gonna change. Nothing. They're not going to Obamacare. They're not going to shut the damn borders down. They're not going to impeach Obama. I mean, this shit's going to keep going on and going on and going on. It's going to get worse, in fact, I think.
It is going to get worse, and that the statement that I don't know why anyone even says it, that the government is our government and we control it. We don't control shit. We are the little pinion. We are the slaves to they rule over us. They make laws and they support them with punishment. If we break their laws, they decide what we could do. They decide what we can't do. They decide what toilets we have in our home. They decide what light bulbs we put up in our houses. Now tell me that's not a slave environment.
Yeah, and when you freaking put these stupid little curly Q light bulbs up and then they break, it's a freaking hazmat situation with the mercury in there.
Right. And you know that they have chips in them. You know that. And that's how
Yeah.
that's how smart meters are going to read when you leave your light on all night.
Right.
We are slaves. I don't care what you say. There isn't one American citizen that isn't a slave that is not obeying what the owners tell us to do.
I'll tell you right now, and this is what kind of gets me, is that I know so many people that just, they say that I don't pay any attention to that stuff. I don't, that doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my life. And I'm just, and I'm just here in my bubble and nothing else fucking matters. And it doesn't affect me. If I don't pay attention to it, it doesn't affect me.
But yet they're paying how much of their money is to the royals. I mean, look at your income tax. You go out, you work hard for that, and then they take what they want of it because they get it before you do.
Even if you put gas in your car, you're still part of the system, and you're still enslaved in some way. Absolutely.
Yeah, so no one can say in this country that they are free, because you are not free. You live by the rules set upon you by your masters.
Mm-hmm. Even if you think that you're living outside of the box, you really aren't.
But that's because you haven't really done anything to piss them off. But hold back your income tax and see how free you are.
Mm-hmm.
Don't, go over the speed limit and see how free you are.
Right, exactly.
Jaywalk, go across the street. Not in that little line that they said you had to cross. Cross out of that line. Then
slip on the ice, break your leg, and then see. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same. You just can't. There's no way to really, truly, unless you live like way the hell up in Alaska on some remote island somewhere, fully self-sustaining, completely off the grid. You're there.
But you can't do that. If you own land, you can't even put up a little shed without going and paying your permit and getting permission to build that little shed on that property.
That's right. So, we're all ensnared in this. Regardless, even if you just, choose to stick your head in the sand and pretend like it's not really affecting you, it is.
You're still going by their rules. If you collect rainwater in some states, that you're taking the water away from the royals, then you can go to jail, like that man did for 30 days because his pond was collecting rainwater.
And I remember that. But these people that I know that I'm specifically talking about, none of them watch TV, and therefore they think that they're completely unplugged. But they're not. They're absolutely not.
They pay property taxes. Even
if they just rent, even if they're and they don't buy the regular diet of the world, and they don't, but guess what, dude? You're still there. You're still, you do drive your car, you do all these things. If you do get sick, then you're screwed. I don't know. I know so many people, because I'm a punk rocker. There's a lot of punk rockers out there that think like that. And, I just got news for you, man. You're not, you might be an anarchist, man, but, you're not, you're still playing into the system.
You're still, yep. And a lot of them, they write books and stuff and put out there, but they don't even get their money for that because they have to pay taxes on that. So you're still part of it.
Yeah, if you're drinking booze, if you're smoking cigarettes, you know what I mean?
Unless you're producing all your food. It don't even matter if you're producing all your food on your land, go in and build a little outhouse or a little teeny shed. You can't do it, or else they'll come in and they'll take your land because you didn't get the fees.
Right.
You did not pay that fee. You are not allowed to do what you want on your land. And so it's not your land. It is their land, and they're just being nice enough to let us keep it up for them.
Yes, that's right. Until they're ready to run everybody off the land in the rural areas.
And you can't raise you want to raise your kids, you raise your kids their way, or they'll come take your kid away from you.
That's right. That's exactly correct.
We're all owned by the state.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's very disheartening to really sit down and think about just how owned we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's just, you know, I have no interaction with police, but it's because I go by the rules in a lot of ways, and that hurts me. I drive the speed limit because I don't want the cops coming down on my ass, you know, and I pay my taxes. I'm a slave, and I admit it. I hate it, and I don't know how to get us out of it. State of Jefferson, I think, is a big step in that direction, and if we can make that happen, others will see how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and that I just it hasn't. How long has the state of Jefferson idea been like on the table for?
Since 1940, right, and it almost happened, but then the war happened, and then it got put on the back shelf.
Since Are you serious?
I am serious. That's when they first started it, was back then, and the state of Jefferson, it was really going strong. Then the war happened, and everybody went to war, and it stopped. And now it's been brought back up by who really initiated it was the grandson of the one that started it back in the 1940s.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, and it's growing. It is really growing. And
I hope so.
It's so encouraging. I mean, when we do have it, when you own your land, you own your land. You don't have to get fees. You don't have to buy permits. And I mean, the people that want this are the people that know what freedom is, and they want that back as much as we can. We won't be, the federal government, as long as we don't take money from them, they cannot come into the state if we say no. And, and like he said, each community, we will have representatives, but they will only put out one piece of legislation a year. So you better make it what you want and important. But you only have 3 meetings a year, and then you go back to your job and go back. It's going to be like it's supposed to be. You volunteer that time. And then you can only be there for 2 years to represent your state if they want. But only one piece of legislation, and you keep your job because you're going back to it in a couple of days.
Right.
Yeah. So, it's the closest thing to freedom that I think we can have. And more people are getting on board every day with the more violence and the more, taking our homes and stuff. And, there won't be any food stamps or welfare either. But we are going to be creating jobs. And so people won't need that. They can get their self-esteem back. They can, feel like they're free again.
Yeah, exactly.
No Obamacare.
Crazy. Oh, my God.
But they've already gone in with declarations from 3 counties. They've already taken them to Sacramento, and they're getting more and more every day, more places. All the way down to Yuba City. That is right next to, that's the last city before the Capitol. They want in on it. So.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure hoping. When you listen to him, go to the State of Jefferson website and just go through the videos and listen. And because a lot of people go, well, you can't do it. You don't have enough money. There's no way you have enough money. But you go there and it explains how, well, yes, we will. And it won't take gobs of money if we don't have an overpaid government.
Right.
To pay. And because, no matter what we do, no matter what we want up here, we are so outnumbered in Sacramento that our voice don't even get heard, let alone voted on.
So how in the hell can that change?
You mean representation? There's a lot of places across the country. That's what I'm saying. If we can make this happen here, other states, like I'm sure Texas has a lot of rural communities that have no say in what laws get put on them.
Right.
And that's, and that's one of the things in the Constitution. You have the right for representation, and we have none here.
Right.
No matter what. We live by the rules and the laws that they make down in Sacramento, and we have 2 votes down there. Where San Francisco has 35, LA, I forget how many they have, and and we have 2 people to represent us. So you tell me how we could ever win at anything. They're the ones that declared the spotted owl. It was on them. They made that law to shut down all our woods. Stop. The lumber business went by, and now we buy our lumber from Canada when we are sitting here on thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land that we could be, using.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the forest is suffering for it, because when you go down out and you do lumbering in a certain area, right after you're done, right behind you on your heels are tree planters that come in there and start replanting. And it keeps the underbrush clean and the trees and everything stay healthy. Right now they're dying.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of good to it. Anyway,
Absolutely.
yeah. I'm exhausted.
I know. It's all this crap. Gosh.
I know.
Well, I don't know. It seems like it's just been, since 1940. I mean, if this has been talked about since then, it's just taking an inordinate amount of time for this to actually come to fruition.
Because the war stopped it.
Well, I get it. I mean, I get that. I get it.
When they came back, it didn't get brought up again. And then they changed. That's too. They changed the way we have how we're represented. Like, it's by population, not by geography as it used to be.
Right.
See, we used to have enough representation until they changed that to population, which took away all of our representatives, because we aren't as populated as San Francisco, and that's why they have so many districts where most of our the people that are making decisions for us don't even know how to get here.
Right. So,
yeah, they set our rules by San Francisco's rules and by LA's rules, and we're going to die. This whole area up here is going to die if we don't do this, because we can't live under their rules down there. It doesn't apply to us.
Right.
So,
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be dangerous to the establishment for that to actually happen. So this is probably the reason why it hasn't yet.
Well, no, we have a good fight though too, because see, we are a problem for like San Francisco and all them, because a lot of money comes up here for welfare and all that comes out of the budget, and there's a lot of reasons that we are a burden on them, just as they're a burden on us. And like I say, go to the state of Jefferson's website, and Mark Bard, he has such a good way of explaining things, and he has all facts behind him. He's like Dane. He doesn't go out there and just say things. He has the statistics and the facts that put it in place.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, he's
that's what's needed.
At every county that they have let him do a presentation, like a half hour to 45-minute presentation, every one of them are on board. All the ones that didn't allow him to do that and then allow 3-minute talks from everybody, they don't pass it. Because they got it in their head and no one's explaining to them how it is. So
exactly. Well, hey, I mean, people don't know this stuff, Yeah.
But people up here do. A lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of active people involved in this. I go to all those meetings, and I have my state of Jefferson flag. I have my state of Jefferson. I let people see that I'm for it, and I wear my sweatshirt. And a lot of people in the stores and all ask me about it. You know,
Good.
I hand them out. I always have some stuff in my car, always. And I just say, well, meet me out in the parking lot, and I'll give you the literature and where you can get the most information on what this movement's about. In fact, just 2 days ago, a lady stopped me coming out of the store and said, oh, my husband was interested in trying to find out about that state of Jefferson. I said, okay, and I handed her the literature.
Neat. Neat.
And a lot of young people up here. It's amazing how many young people are involved.
Good. That's what is really needed, is the young people to get involved.
Yeah.
Because young people can, believe it or not, have a lot of power.
Energy.
They do. Well, it's not only energy, but they've got more power than they think they do. And they need to realize that they have this power, and most of them just don't have a clue or don't give a crap because they're too busy playing the damn video games.
Oh, no, that's changing up here at that meeting we had last Friday. I'd say close to almost half were young adults at that meeting.
Really?
There were older people, but there was, in fact, the Board of Supervisor, he even stated that. He goes, I was so surprised to see so many young people here, and that you guys are, because it's going to be your world, and it's very refreshing. And it is. They got up, they spoke, they asked good questions.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of my community in that respect, because we don't just talk, we do things. And I can't wait till December 5th. I'm going to be there with bells on.
Yay! That's what's needed to happen. I mean, obviously, that's great. I'm glad that there's young people paying attention to stuff.
And just think how great it'll be if we do succeed in what we're trying to do. If we do succeed in making that state. If we do succeed in forcing them to address the geoengineering. Other states will follow through. They'll see that they do have power.
That's right. Absolutely. And I might even move out there too if the state of Jefferson, you know what I mean? Jeez.
Yeah. I've lived
one of
up
the
here,
only free states there is out there. If it actually happens.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we, in fact, we had 3 people there that are going to be running in the next election, that are, and they were young people, and they're going to try and get into office to make a difference. And I don't know, it's refreshing to see that. People always think the young people just don't care to give a, but there are a lot more of them out there that do care. I mean, up here, I don't know about down in the city, but life is different up here, though. There's a lot more outdoor involved, people, because we got fishing, hunting, and boating, and all this out in the woods, and but if we can make an impression, if we can just pass it on and let people see how things should be, it'll be great.
Yeah, I really, really hope that something happens with that, honestly.
It's slow moving, and any of us that really are involved in it know this is not going to happen overnight. This is going to take time. And that's the thing. In this world of gimme, right now, it's hard for a lot of people to understand that it takes time. And there's a lot of prep work on the back going on almost every day. We're working on it, in the background and getting information out. But I really, in my heart, think this will come to pass.
I'm crossing my fingers for that. Let me tell you right now, because it's just what's needed. It's just what's needed. And the reason why the establishment has to block it no matter what happens, because if one section of the country starts that little, thing from happening, rather than protesting, having the state of Jefferson there, that's really the way to change the system.
And every meeting
make a lasting change.
Every meeting that I have been to has been standing room only. And see that they're not going to stop. They may not be reporting on it, but it is out, and enough people. You drive anywhere around here and you see State of Jefferson bumper stickers and State of Jefferson shirts being worn. And I mean, it's not just a few people. There are a lot of people getting involved.
Good.
So,
That's
yeah.
what's needing. That's what needs to happen. So I'm glad to see that. And with the advent of the internet, it it's making people aware of all the stuff. It's really helping to wake people up. Really, I mean, all over the world, people are getting hip to what the hell's going on around them, which is
Now,
good.
they're saying state of Jefferson sounds good, but if the government gets taken over by corporations, you have accomplished nothing. Yes, we have. We don't have big corporations up here. We aren't mostly, that's the difference people don't understand. We don't run by, we don't get so much of the big corporation influence up here. Because most of, we have almost all free range ranches up here, and not the corporate run ranches. And it's a lot different than the city, but the community, if the counties come in on it, they can't stop it. But it takes time, and I mean, we up here in local news, it's in the news a lot, even.
Is
where
it?
It's not, yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, they're always doing interviews with different council members of the different counties. And if you drive right down below me in Tehama, it says, coming soon, the state of Jefferson, the 51st state. And they have a big billboard down there because they're already on board.
Cool.
Yeah, so.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Every time I hear someone say, well, it won't work, you know what? Don't tell me that. Why do you have such a defeatist attitude? People who know nothing about it, have not been to a meeting, do not know the inner workings of what we're doing, and then just say, well, you can't do it. It'll never happen. Well, you know what? Take your attitude somewhere else. That defeatist attitude that's been put up on this country by our masters has to go away.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be hope somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere there's got to be some kind of hope. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I was amazed. I put that thing about the liability insurance on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
It is receiving lots of hits, and I sent a letter to the editor, and I got a response this last night on my email saying that they had received it. So I'm going to be watching and see what happens. But
now, do they have when obviously they've got letter to the editor in printed form with the newspaper, but
it's online too.
Online, so do they allow comments and stuff?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of important to know,
where
big brains are.
Yep. That is a big thing. There is the comments. Usually, I'll go over an article, but I go down and read the comments as to how people are receiving it, and I learned from that things to put in my letters that would ease past what these other people. And you always have the ones that are always there bitching, and no matter what you say, they're against it. But yeah, a lot of things have come to pass because of letters to the editor. They are taken seriously around here.
That's right.
So yeah.
Oh, man. I hope so. I mean, and sometimes all it takes is just a little, pebble in the pond type thing.
Oh, yeah. It's like our geoengineering. Okay, the first meeting we had with in front of the supervisors, they didn't let Dane make a presentation. We all got to talk 3 minutes, and that was it. And the sheriff started out with his big thing about, look at the clear cutting and the pesticides in the water and all that. But then after that, we all got up and talked, but we only had 3 minutes, and it's hard to get a point across. And they voted it down. They weren't going to do nothing about it. Well, we finally got to one of the supervisors and had her put it on the schedule. See, the other one was just we went in, and we had over 500 people there, but we didn't have Dane to give a presentation to explain it all out. When we did get in there, and then people weren't saying, the kooks, the crazy people in the paper, in the comments this time. They were going, wow, I didn't know that. And you have to be just keep at it and keep it, you know, because they turned us down once, but that didn't stop us. We got to one supervisor. She put it on the schedule, and it changed everything. And now this other meeting, people from, a man from Alaska came here, a lady from Arizona came here. We are the movement right now in the geoengineering.
Yes.
You know, this guy from Alaska, he goes, I was so glad when and he's seen it online on Facebook on the geoengineeringwatch.org.
Well,
he
there you
looked
go.
at that,
See?
and he goes, wow, these people know what's going on, and he came all the way down here. And it's drawing more and more people because more and more people are waking up to it. And you know, they can only deny us the truth for so long, and there's so much evidence.
But you just can't deny the truth, period. Truth is not anything that anyone can deny, because it's the truth.
There are still people, though, that think, that will still say, you guys are kooks. They won't have any proof on their side, but they've just been taught that we're the tinfoil hats. You know, but that's coming up. Our tinfoil hats are fading away.
Yeah, they're melting on our heads. No.
Yeah, you just can't give up, and you can't sit around and tell yourself that it won't ever change. Nothing's gonna come of it.
Right.
Then it won't. Nothing will come of it, and your life is going to be miserable because you don't have a positive attitude and you won't stand up.
Yeah, everything is really, really affected by, like, our attitudes and how we think about stuff. I mean, the energy and how we think about the world just totally goes out of there, just like, you know, ripples in a pond like that. It really does affect everything around us. And the more energy we put into all this nonsense and bullshit, you know, the more nonsense and bullshit we're going to get out.
Right. You know, and I don't know. I refuse to have the defeatist attitude that we can't change this. We are strong people and we are proud people on mostly, but they've taken that away from us in every avenue that they can with the poisoning of our food. How did this come to happen? Why do they blatantly poison us and we keep eating it, and we keep allowing them to make legislation that gives them the permission to poison us?
Mm-hmm. And the fluoride in the water, and the whole 9 yards. I mean, the whole thing is
that's nuclear waste. Fluoride is nuclear waste. It's their way of getting rid of their waste. And why is it still in the water? Why?
Exactly.
Everyone going out buying bottled water because of the fluoride in the water. Well, why the hell don't you just make them take out that damn machine that is at your water company that's putting the fluoride in there?
Yeah, well, they tried to do that. They tried to do that in Austin, and the mayor flipped him off while he was like up there. Yeah, I mean, what the hell?
If someone is stopping you from getting what your body needs to be healthy, you get rid of that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, especially even the most believing slave has to have had the information that fluoride is bad.
Right.
I don't care who you are. It's been so overproven. And that's what gets me too. Why is it still in the water? You know, I mean, this is where you have to go in. You have to get petitions work on a small scale like here, because these people want to get reelected. And if you have enough people in your community that says, hey, we're not going to reelect you if you don't do what we say, they're going to do it.
Right.
Maybe not on the big scale, but you can't kill the bear without first getting into the woods.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so, you know, you got power, even though they tell you don't. And who knows what thing's going to go viral that'll really set it off. But we got to keep trying.
Yeah, I agree. We can't just roll over and show our pink bellies.
Yeah, and we have for too long. I mean, name one thing that we get that we're putting in our bodies that isn't poisoned. And I can
name a lot of stuff that's not poison that I put in my body.
But, but I mean, even the cannabis, okay? Even the people that are growing it organically for medicinal purpose, they are still spraying
Yeah.
geoengineering
Yeah.
poisons, and it is going on that, and it is coming into your body. I don't think there's anywhere on earth you can get anything that's really toxin free.
Well, greenhouses are pretty good shelters
No,
against that.
air. These, okay, and the nanoparticulates that are in this spraying are they're like thousands of times smaller than a cell in your body. You cannot keep that out. Everything is porous, even steel. It is porous. Stuff will ferment through, and there's no way of stopping it, and that's very sad. But if we don't stop that spraying,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, even a gas mask is not going to protect you from that. Not from these nanoparticulates that are out there that they are using now.
Yeah.
So the main thing, like one guy got up and was saying at the meeting, well, what if we started planting hemp and stuff to bring more oxygen into the air that we need? And Dane said, quite frankly, he goes, that would be good, yes, but it is not going to stop it. We have to stop the spraying. No matter how many plants we put out there, no matter how much oxygen is produced, it is not going to have an effect till we stop that spraying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, the main, we have to get them to stop. We have to.
So who can we target to start, yelling and screaming at them? I mean, we don't even know that. Who is the who that we have to be focusing on here?
We do know who, and they've come out and said it. Dane has talked with senators and with corporation people and everything. They know, but they won't stop, and we have to. I don't know. Dane, he has such energy. He just makes we can do it.
No, I know.
The thing is, you've got to wake up the citizens. That's it. We have to. And with the paper blocking us, and whenever they do report about it, it's derogatory.
Sure.
With the TV station not addressing us, that's why this thing on December 5th is so important. I think every person that was at that meeting is going to be there. I know for sure they are. Good. And we're getting the word out. We're putting it out everywhere about them. We're going to force them into addressing this, or we're just going to stop buying their newspaper. And we're going to stop watching Channel 7. And that's going to be made very clear. So, I mean, and it really did a lot having a guy from the Board of Supervisors there. And I was shocked because this was the one guy on the board that I thought was against us.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. But like he said, and he brought out, he goes, I'll tell you people, I'm in politics, and the people that you're trying to address and get this through to, you aren't going to be able to do it through the system. He goes, because if one of them if I got up there and said, you guys were all a bunch of nuts, what would happen? You wouldn't vote for me.
Right.
And he goes, this is the mentality you're against. He addressed it. He said he knows it's a dire problem. He will do anything he can to help with us. But he said he knew when they sent off that letter that they would not get any responses. So, but at least we got someone in there that is listening and that does show up at our meetings and does know that this is important, and he has influence over people. So we got to win them over. Maybe it's one at a time, but
yeah, something's better than nothing. Something's better than just sticking your head in the sand and pretending like it doesn't, it's nothing, it doesn't exist and it doesn't affect you.
Right. And the flyer we put out, it's so telling. It's a whole page of pictures of all the different trails. And then with little captions that explain a little bit, and then you turn it over, and it has all the information on the back. It's very well done, and I see it everywhere now. I see it in stores. There's stacks of them, even in Safeway. So I just went, yes.
Good.
And we hand out, all of us, we hand out DVDs every chance we get to people passing by or whatever. But, just got to keep doing it because we have to wake up the masses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Oh, I wanted to, we're almost out of time, but I want to hit this one thing.
Go
I
ahead.
seen it, and I, I like to end it in a good note.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Frenchman develops pill to make flagellants.
Flatulence?
Yeah, smell of roses.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I would never take a pill that did that. Oh, my God.
65-year-old inventor says he came up with his strange range of indigestion tablets after he was nearly suffocated by the smell of farts. A Frenchman has developed a range of pills aimed at making people's farts smell sweeter, of chocolate or of roses, which he says will make the perfect Christmas present. The 65-year-old artist and inventor says his pills are aimed at easing indigestion and are made of 100% natural ingredients such as fennel, seaweed, and blueberries. The pills are sold on the internet under the Linton Malin Crafty IMP website, and it's pillapet.com, and have been approved by health authorities according to Christian Ponichival, who is based in the village of Greaves in western France. For this year's festive season, he has added a new product to the range, which he has titled the Father Christmas Fart Pill that gives your farts the scent of chocolate. They retail at €9.99 for a jar of 60 and bring benefits such as the reduction of gas and bloating. So really, it's a digestive help, I guess. But then it goes other products on the site, which features pictures of the bearded Mr. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm sure I'm killing it. But posing as an imp include rose perfume fart pills and tablets and to reduce the pong of canine fluctuations. He's even got it for dogs.
Oh, I would never, I don't know.
And he goes,
how the hell is that happening?
He said he came up with the idea for the pills one evening when he was enjoying a hearty meal with some friends. Our farts were so smelly, we were nearly suffocated. Something had to be done, he said. So he began researching natural ingredients that would reduce gas, and after months of experimentation, came up with the recipe for his pill. He has been selling the pills since 2006 and says he sells several hundred a month. I have all sorts of customers, he told the Telegraph. Some buy them because they have problems with gas, and some buy them as jokes to send to their friends. Christmas always sees a surge in sales. He said he even has a number of British clients who buy his product line. But, I mean, if it's all organic and it helps reduce gas...
It didn't say it was organic. It just said it was natural.
Oh, natural. That's true, natural. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. You know, I thought men would probably protest them since men are so fart-oriented.
I wonder, how did he do this litany of testing? Did he test it on his dog?
Himself, I guess, and his dog.
His wife, I mean.
If it's digestive enzymes and stuff that help, reduce it, that's fine. But I guess, has
he got one that smells like Christmas trees?
Not yet, but I bet if you wrote him a letter and asked him to find one, he probably could. I just thought that was great, though. It has a picture of rose petals, and, but I've never been able to figure out that thing with guys and farts. I don't know. It's a guy thing, and I don't know. Well, it just cracks me up.
What you put in definitely gets put out, man.
That's true.
So, oh man, you should post that in the chat room.
I will. In fact, I have it right here. I will. It's cute. article. And amongst all the other articles that I was looking at, that one I thought would be the best one to end the show with.
It is, especially the day before Thanksgiving. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a replay tomorrow. I'm not sure what Jules' plan is.
I'm sure, because I'm not going to be here.
I'm not going to be here either, so I can't be here. I've got to be out of the road.
Yeah, so I'm sure she plans on putting a rebroad tomorrow. Everybody be safe. Be safe. Don't get it, stay out of the cops' ways, because they're always out in force on the holidays to make that buck for their fund. So, and have a very thankful Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Be thankful for what we do have.
Don't choke on any turkey bones.
No. And then, have the windows open.
Windows open. Yeah.
Or get the peels from this guy in France. And yeah. Anyway, enjoy, and we will see you again on Friday. We'll be here, won't we?
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, I'll be here too. We got 4 more minutes.
Wow.
Still.
So, are you cooking, or are you just?
I'm gonna help my mom cook.
Mm.
I had to skip my craft class yesterday because I was trying to brine this 22-pound turkey in fluoridated water. And oh my God, the thing just this bag kind of blew out, and I got just raw turkey brine all over my clothes, and I couldn't go to class like that, so I had to skip class, and it just, it sucks when that happens to me because I really want to go to that class. I'm so addicted to that class, and Tuesday night is a cool night to go there, so.
Oh, well, you'll be fine. My friends, I am so shocked because last year they went and they bought all the dinner at their health food store. And they're doing it again this year because, for 3 years, I didn't go because I couldn't eat the food.
Yeah, that's what I insist. I go to the health food store to buy this turkey. I mean, the turkey is a really pretty penny, but I mean,
it is. It's they
slaughtered. It was slaughtered on Tuesday, or no, Monday. Monday it was slaughtered, so that's fresh. That's fresh. That's
it's up here. I mean, it's $75 for the turkey.
Yeah,
and it's a big one, but I mean, it's range free, it's fed no chemical, and so they're doing that again for me. I'm so thankful to them because for them to do that is awesome. It's nice to feel loved.
Fantastic, absolutely.
So I'm making pecan pies.
Right on. That's good too.
My friend brought me over 15 pounds of pecans. I got to do something with them.
Well, we love everybody in the chat room. Everybody's in there saying Happy Thanksgiving, and Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there listening. And we love everybody, and
we are thankful for each and every one of you.
Are so very thankful, and we love you guys. Love all you guys in the chat. We love all you listeners, so we want to see you guys all safe. So be careful, because tonight's a heavy bar night.
And Vince will have Riot Cam going live.
Yeah, I don't know if the protesters are going to take a break for Thanksgiving or not.
Oh, I hope so.
Jeez,
go in and be thankful for what you do have, and if you still have a home that wasn't burned down.
Yeah, if you still have a business that wasn't burned down, my God.
But anyway, thank you guys. Have a wonderful week.
Yeah, have a great day tomorrow, and keep listening to UCY.TV. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.